Okay guys, this is a video I've been wanting to put up for a while, and it's going to be in several segments, and I'm just going to piece them together because it's going to cover a lot. Now, the wife told me not to make this video too long because people get bored and they won't watch. And I told her that I'm going to tell them the truth. That it's important. If you believe things are going to get as bad as I believe they are, and this video could possibly save their life, and it's up to them if they want to possibly save their family's life by watching an hour-long video about how to have food in an emergency situation that would have little trash, little smells, ready to go, long shelf life, not to get the neighbors suspicious with cooking smells, right? It's up to them. They could learn everything I put together, everything that took me weeks, right? Recipes, finding things online, all that stuff took me weeks to do. They can get it in an hour. It's up to them. So, it's going to be a long video. I recommend you get a drink, pause it, get a drink, and let's go through this together, if you choose to. Now, this is going to be about how to make your own emergency food buckets, right? So, if you do this, you're probably going to do it at maybe, somewhere between a third of the cost to maybe, half, somewhere between there. And that's what I've pretty much gotten into it myself. I was going to spend about $1,800. I wound up spending $500. Right? No, more like $550, maybe $6. I'll just say $6 because there's probably stuff I've forgotten along the way. But yeah, let's just say $600. So yeah, less than half either way. Now, I've been looking into doing emergency food buckets for a long time. I never actually did, though. I loaded up on canned goods like most of you guys, and dry goods. That seems fine. I think it's a great idea still. But I've always thought about cooking smells. Something I've considered for years, right? It hits me and I think about it, and it goes away and it hits me, think about it. And then really it hit me hard. I'm like, okay, I really got to think. I got to solve this problem. So that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just do just add water stuff because it's quick. I know just add water, dehydrated stuff is not the best thing in the world for you to eat all, but it's better than facing a hungry mob, man. Because, cooking beans takes a long time, takes a lot of water, and creates a lot of cooking smells. So I decided to have a new plan. I would use rice, beans, and dry goods in the beginning of an Shtf situation. Then, as things progressed, I would move to canned goods, and things kept on, or for extended duration. Then I would go into emergency food buckets, and that was my plan. I looked into several of the leading emergency food bucket manufacturers, and I discovered that many are a ripoff. As Legacy explains, there's no guidelines for a serving size, which is why your typical old package of Chips Ahoy says there's 30 servings in that package. You look at it, and the serving size is 4 cookies. Who the hell is going to eat 4 cookies, man? Really? So it seems like a year's worth of food may actually be 3 or 4 months in the real world. Say you're a grown man and you eat more than a half a cup or 2/3 of a cup of beans in a day. Well, then it's not going to last you. A year's supply is not going to last you a year. So I considered Legacy because they seem to be the cheapest. They offer the most food weight and the most calories for the money. So I was about to order 2 years worth of Legacy foods for my family. But we were going on vacation. I didn't want the stuff to show up when I wasn't here. Right? Went to go see the in-laws. And I'm like, okay, after we get back, I'm going to put this on order. put it on the credit card, pay it off right away, take the points with what I already have, and make supplement buckets. The supplement buckets would have been my own emergency food buckets. I used, of course, to increase the amount of food I had on hand, in addition to the 2 years that I was going to buy from Legacy. And then I came up with a plan, come up with different recipes. And I looked at all the ingredients as I could find and discovered that it's basically the same ingredients that Legacy, Weiss, and Mountain House, all the same ingredients that they use. That's what I was looking at, the same things to make my supplement buckets with. Go to the website and check it out. It is the same ingredients done over and over and over, right? Look at this here. Cheesy macaroni, right? You got bean chili, Southwest rice, savory stroganoff, cheesy lasagna. Look, hamburger helper lasagna, Alfredo. You got scalloped potatoes, instant rice. Let me see, what do we got here? The stroganoff, quick cook pasta, right? So quick cook pasta, instant rice, dehydrated beans, dehydrated veggies, oatmeal, powdered milk, right? Cereal with powdered milk, just at water pancakes, and that is what it really is. The same stuff that you can get. Most of it you can get at the grocery store. Some of it you can only get online. I'm going to leave links in the description bar to the things you can only get online. To say the Mylar bags, the oxygen absorbers. I'll leave you a link to the Harmony House. I love that website. I got a lot of my veggies off of that. And the powder. There's all kinds of stuff that you can get at the grocery store. And like I said, if you go to the grocery store, sometimes this is on sale, man. I got a bunch of these helpers on sale just the other day, right? And I mean, you save on shipping, and let's say you're in a Wally World or something, and it's on sale, all the better. And then what you can only get online, get that last. But it's all the same ingredients, guys. You can save, between 50%, maybe 70%. It depends on your size of your family, right? Because another thing, when you buy like this package here, that package is supposed to be 4 servings, right? So if you go with a year's supply, think about that. That package is going to have to actually last you a couple days. That's something to think about. And it's not the most generous thing in the world either. So anyway, if you want to go with this project, let's go through it. I'm going to take you down the line. There's links in the description bar of what you need, recipes, everything that took me a while to I struggled with. We're going to go through it together. All right, so let's do it. Let's start. Okay, in this section, I want to go over the strengths and weaknesses of different types of food that people put away for emergency. You've got your dry goods like rice and beans, canned goods, and canned foods, MREs, and emergency food buckets. I want to go down the list and go over the strengths and weaknesses of each of these. Maybe you can tweak it for your own individual needs, depending on your situation. So let's go over this. Start at the top. Dry goods like rice and beans. The pros: easily available, right? Readily available at any grocery store. They're cheap. They have a long shelf life. They're very nutritious, and they produce very little trash. If you say put them into a big old container, I've seen people put them in like 3-liter soda containers they've cleaned out. You wouldn't have a lot of trash. It could give you some problems if people notice, you throwing stuff out all the time, right? They might look and check out your trash can when nobody else has food, right? People get crazy, man, and 3 days after some problem happens, that's when food runs short. So if you're throwing trash out after day 3, you got a problem. So cons. They take a long time to cook, like rice I mean, it takes some. But beans, you know, that takes a good while to cook. And you need a lot of water for that. Let's say water is scarce. You know, some people, oh, I got a lot of water. Well, not everybody does, right? I've got a water source near me. I mean, 25, maybe 30 minutes on foot if I had to. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to go out in that kind of situation. You want to stay inside and hunker down, right? So anyway, you want to use everything sparingly. And the thing is, they take a lot of water to cook. And they create lots of cooking smells, right? If everybody's hungry, they're going to pick up on those smells. They pick up on those smells. You have problems at your door. So that's the bad on the dry goods. Now, canned goods, your canned food, right? Pros, readily available at any grocery store. They're cheap. They have a long shelf life. I mean, cans have been around for, longer than you think. I've been around for a good while. I've heard of cans being took out of the ocean after, years and years, 60, 70 years, something like that. I mean, maybe longer than that, I forget. But they had like 80-something% of the nutritional value still. That's amazing. And plus that in the ocean, I mean, with salt water, I'm surprised that the can wasn't totally torn up. But they've got a great shelf life. I've looked online, I've read that you can eat cans 10, 15 years after their expiration date. Look that up for yourself, right? So that's up to you. You look that into that, don't take my word for it. Do your own research, but look into it. I'm not recommending it again, but you know what? Look it up, do your own research, make up your own mind. Right? Let me see. Another pro is they have a lot of their own water or liquid, right, to cook in. You don't have to use any water you have on hand. That's a good thing. And canned goods don't really take that long to cook. Most of it's already cooked up anyway. You just, reheating it. Take you a little bit longer with the liquid, but not that long. Cons, they're bulky and heavy. They create lots of cooking smells, and they produce a ton of trash. Like in Venezuela, like I said, they're going to the zoos and eating the animals, and they're eating their pets. Let's say somebody was walking down the sidewalk and, wandering around. They're looking to, go find something, and they pass by a trash can, and they smell food. They smell the cans. Well, then, it's like you struck gold, man. Everybody's gonna wonder, where the hell did you get that? And you got problems, right? And you can crush them down, but people would notice you crush them. You can crush them indoors, I guess, but still, you're gonna have to take them out there. And, it's gonna be a hassle dealing with a bunch of cans. That's gonna create problems for you. Okay, MREs. Pros. They have a long shelf life. You just heat and eat, and they don't take that long to cook. They've even got their own heat source. Right? You've got several course meal right there in that package. So, that's the pros. Cons, they're very expensive, man. And you can't eat them for long durations. If you have been in the military, or you know anybody in the military, they tell you drink a lot of water, you drink, coffee, just drink a lot of liquids. You want to get that out of your system, man. You want it to flush through your system quickly, because it's not that great for you, right? You'd have to, they're not that nutritious. It's not good for you. They create quite a bit of trash. Yeah, you got several course meals in there, but you also have, it's all individually packed and all. You have all that trash, right? And they're kind of bulky. So that'd be the cons on them, right? Emergency food buckets. This is the last one here. Pros. Lightweight. Produce very little trash. They cook up very quickly. They produce very little cooking smells. And a lot of times this stuff doubles up, right, the volume. Sometimes they stay the same, like some of your veggies, 1 cup makes 1 cup. But sometimes dehydrated stuff, 1 cup will make like 3.5 cups, 3.25 cups of food, rehydrated. And they take less water than cooking beans, where, let's say, dehydrated beans, 1 cup to 1 cup. as opposed to just dry beans that you have to cook up yourself and keep it in water, take a long time, right? Now the cons, if you look at these companies, they're very expensive, and they're not good for long term. Same as the MRE. You can eat this longer than 30 days, but I mean, you're going to need some supplements or something. You're going to have to get your hands on, you're going to have to grow some veggies or something, because they're not going to cover you. You're going to have some dietary deficiencies with emergency food buckets or MRE. So, keep in mind, have supplements on hand and try to grow what you can too. Right? Fruits and veggies are the best. Anyway, that's the pros and cons. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Okay, guys. Of course, there's some things you can only get online, and I'm going to leave links in the description bar to help you out with that. But to save on costs, whatever you can buy at the grocery store, right? Get there. You can find things on sales. Maybe you have a coupon or something like that. You're not going to pay for shipping. Maybe you can get in bulk, right? So whatever you can buy at the grocery store, do that. Now let's talk about a lot of common grocery store items. I've seen dehydrated beans at Dollar General, right? I've used those in another video. They were out at the moment, but anyway, just like in microwavable cups, a soup bean kit, right? Instant rice, right? That's minute rice in that container right there. Minute rice, rice-a-roni, Zaterans, anything that cooks in 10 minutes or less. That's going to be your pre-cooked rice. Any of that'll work out, right? You can mix and match whatever you like. Dried fruits, right? Raisins, banana chips. You can see dehydrated okra and stuff like that. You can find that anywhere in the snack aisle, right? You can use that for some of for recipes here, and we'll go over some recipes too. Dried veggies like French's dried onion, dried okra, dried green beans. You can find those in snack aisles too. Instant noodles. You can find those all day long, any grocery store. You can find those at any convenience store, man. French's like dried onions, something like that. Easy to find anywhere. Instant potatoes, right? You can find instant mashed potatoes anywhere. Any instant scalloped potatoes, you can find that anywhere. Kraft Mac and cheese. I like the stuff with the powdered cheese, You can also get like Mylar bags of cheese. That's cool, but I like to use these for different recipes. Molly McButter. I was looking for that. I don't know if they still make that stuff or not. I wanted to use that for something. But, if it's out there, hey, it'd be at a regular old grocery store. You can get like Mylar packages of fish. Look at the salmon here, right? In the Mylar, right? Mylar cheese packages. That's Velveeta is actually like cheese product or cheese food, but hey, what the hell? Powdered milk, you can find that grocery store. Cereal. Now you want to stay away from like Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch, stuff like that. I mean, I love Captain Crunch. I'll not have it for a couple years and then get a box and I'll eat it till it tears the roof of my mouth up. But with limited nutrition, you probably had to go for something a bit more nutritious. Something with the vitamins and minerals or something. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge on that. Imitation bacon bits. I got these at Dollar Tree. Instant oatmeal, right? Quaker oats, right? Takes a minute to cook. You're talking no time at all. Or even like flavored oatmeal packages, right? I would say in the breakfast ones I did, I took some flavored oatmeal packages and cut it with some of this stuff to make it go a little longer, stretch out. Just add water pancake mix. Perfect. 100% pure honey. That'll never go bad. 100% maple syrup. That'll never go bad. Granola. That's a good mix. Instant drink mix like this here. This Crush. Right? Sweetener and everything. It's probably got, aspartame or, something like that. But hey, what the hell? For, I guess a SHTF and it's, you know, probably you're not gonna have this forever. You're gonna run out eventually anyway. But you know, if you got the treat water or something like that, it'll take care of a lot of that taste. Suppose you have to, you know, if a filter goes out or something, just say you have to. It'll take care of the that taste, and but plus that drinking water gets old pretty quick. Granola, yeah. Let me see. Just that water, hot chocolate, be good for the winter time, especially if you have kiddos or something. Instant coffee, box of individual tea packages. I guess, you know, that'd be a good way to go. Bullion cubes, right? Dehydrated garlic, you know, this stuff here, chopped dehydrated garlic and onion. Dried peppers, I got these at Dollar Tree. Roasted nuts, you know, honey roasted nuts and stuff like that. Trail mixes, and the helpers. You can use just about any hamburger helper, any Knorr, or you know, rice-a-roni, any of that stuff that's dry and ready to go. Quick cooked pasta, and you know, with the sauce package, you can use any of those, right? Tweak them to your own family's taste, man. But you can save a lot of money by getting that online. And also, in health food stores, you can get, like, here's some textured vegetable protein I would use in place of ground beef. Like, if I was, you know, I mix up where instead, in place of ground beef, I think this stuff really makes a lot too. Like, if you look at this here, where are we? Textured vegetable protein, the plain one cup yields about 2.25 cup. So I'll figure, you know, about a pound of beef, you know, be something like a cup or so, just over. So I put just over a half a cup of textured vegetable protein. It'll pick up that extra sauce, you know, get some flavor and make a good substitute, get some nutrition into you. That's what I recommend. You get that at a health food store. Dehydrated mushrooms, health food store, you know, and they're not that expensive. I mean, you know, they're crazy expensive per pound, but you know, it takes a ton to equal a pound. Like this isn't even half a pound. This is like a third. You know, I use some, but anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Whatever you can get at the grocery store, save. You can save on cost. As far as online goes, like, I went and got some dehydrated stuff from this site here, and I'll leave a link in the description bar. That's what I used for my soup bean kit. I got this 25 pounds of pinto beans, and then there were I think there were 5-pound plastic containers of all the other black bean, navy bean, split peas, and all that. And I made a soup bean kit, right? Cut it with some pintos because there's a lot of nutrition in that. And I'll leave a link to the description bar on that. But get what you can at the grocery store. And then whatever you can't get at the grocery store, well then, hey, then you go online and, you know, get it there. And again, I'll leave links in the description bar to help you guys out. And, well, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and do this little project, you're going to need the following things. You're going to need, first off, Mylar bags. Mylar bags are great for storing food long term. They can hold food like 10, 15 years if you seal it right, and you have oxygen absorbers and you do it the right way. Up to 15 years, right? And in addition, with a bucket, right, you can put another 10 years. The way it works out, nothing is 100%, right? So air will get into the Mylar, air will get into that bucket, but it'll take a good while. And I'm using the 5 mil Mylar bag here, and as you can see, I cut them in half. So I have one larger bag that I use for like a late lunch or early dinner, and also for breakfast, right? One of those bags feeds my whole family. And then with the top part, I'll put trail mix or something in there, honey roasted pecans, or something nutritious, good snack to get, to carry you through if you may need it. So basically, every one bag I get 2 out of that, and again, 5 mil. So it basically, the 3.5 is the lowest quality Mylar you can have for food grade, so I don't go with that. This is a better way to go in my opinion. And again, up to 15 years in this bag if you do it right with an oxygen absorber. You get another additional up to 10 years in one of these buckets, because air will get into that, but it's going to take time. Now if you put a barrier between the bag and the oxygen, like so, put in a bunch of these bags, fill it up, drop some more oxygen absorbers, it sucks that out, it takes a while to get into the bucket, and then it takes a while to get into the bag. So you can get up to 25 years. That's how the companies do it. I'm not sure the do-it-yourself how long that lasts, but I'm sure you get a good amount of time too. You would also need, of course, oxygen absorbers, and I'm going to leave links to all the stuff that you may need. You can get hot iron, irons. You can get some stuff at the thrift store, but oxygen absorbers, of course, I'll leave a link to that in the description bar. You drop them in, you seal it up, and it'll pull the oxygen out, and that's what spoils your food, right? Also, two ways to seal it here. I've got a regular clothing iron. You need this and a flat surface, right? Or you can just do the easier way and use a hot iron for hair. And about 300 setting on the hot iron, or about the wool setting on the clothing iron, would seal the Mylar without melting it. If you go too hot, you will destroy your Mylar. What else do we have? Gloves. I recommend you use gloves, right? You're going to, whatever goes in that bag is going to be there when you open it up, whether it's a year or 10 years or whatever later. You're going to need a way to seal up the oxygen absorbers between your bags, right? So you can use just simple, cheap, a good airtight lid. Not for long term, but just, you open this package up, you either got to seal it up or you got to use it pretty quickly. What I do, one or the other, if I can't find this thing, I'll throw them in the jar, set it up, seal a bag, get another one out, set it up, seal it, and like so. Or one of these, and I'll leave a link to this in the description bar as well. You open it up, get an oxygen absorber, close it back up to keep it, keep it potent, I guess, because as soon as they come to contact with oxygen, they start working. So you want to prolong that. Of course, a good pair of scissors if you're going to be cutting Mylar. These are temporary. I'm going to get some long, like, I don't know, 10-inch blade or 12-inch, whatever I can get on eBay to cut that Mylar easier. Food grade bucket. You can get these at grocery stores or bakeries. They just give them away. They don't care. They throw them out anyway, so you can get that for free. You need a way to measure your food, of course. If you're going to rehydrate it for a family, figure out what you're going to have. I recommend you sterilize that thing. Me, I put Lysol on that sucker, and then I put it in the dishwasher, run it through, let it steam and dry, then I use it before every time I'm going to use that sucker. So and I'll do in batches, right? These oxygen absorbers I get here come in packs of 10, so I'll set up 10 bags and basically measure it all out, and then put that thing up and do it again next time. And I recommend, like you saw, for labels, printing out labels, taping them on there, and using a marker, put a little mark on the side, and just a very small slit. That way the next person that comes, they just see the mark and rip it. But anyway, that's the basics of it if you decide to do this project yourself, guys. Alright, so on to the next thing. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you the way I do my emergency, or just add water, emergency foods, replicating the bigger companies. So basically, I'm going to do this out of a helper, hamburger helper. Just take the box lasagna. I've got some dehydrated mushrooms in here. I've got the pasta, some textured vegetable protein in place of the beef. Got the spice kit, and that's it. Got this food saver bag. Typically this is gonna be the first time I've tried this, so we'll see how it works together. I personally don't think I'm gonna need it. Really, you can just throw an oxygen absorber inside a Mylar bag and seal it, and you'll be fine. But I decided that I'd just try it out. So we'll see. So I need, of course, I'm right-handed, and I'm using my left hand to open this thing, but oxygen absorber. Drop it in. Let's see how this works. And I'm using the food saver bag because I like the thickness on this. If I tried in the Mylar bag, I'm thinking it might actually puncture the bag. So, worst that happens, it tears this bag, but not the other bag. So let's see how this works. Again, I don't think it'd be 100%, but I'll lose one bag or so, and it'll still work in the end. So you drop that in this food. It's a textured Mylar bag. I'll show you these online. Like I said, I'm not sure how they work doubling it up, but we'll find out together. Best case scenario, it's vacuum sealed. Sometimes it takes 1 time, sometimes up to 5 times, but I'm just going to do it once. And whatever oxygen is left in there, as long as you seal it, it'll pull it out. You know, the nitrogen, all the other gases in the air will not destroy it, or not make the food decompose, spoil the food, but the oxygen will. The oxygen absorber takes care of that. So let's just actually upside down here. And whether it works or not, I'll seal it, and the oxygen absorber will do the rest. We got a pretty good seal on that. Let's go ahead and second. Oh, get that later. It's kind of harder with a camera in the way, but hey, what the hell. I hit it with a hot iron, and then I just do this to even it out a little bit with a good old hair iron. Again, sometimes I got to fight with these bags. I'll leave links in the description bar if you're interested. Now, the next thing I do, some people, drop my oxygen absorbers again. Some people like to mark on the bag what it is and all that. Me, I just assume I won't be around, and I like to do it a little bit differently. I already have labels made. Set her on here. Take some tape. Cooking instructions. It's going to have the contents and instructions. Take out the oxygen absorber. 4 cups of boiling water. Stir it for about 20 minutes. Got the textured vegetable protein in place of the ground beef, and it'll absorb all that extra sauce and make it taste better. I use a little marker. But just a very small slit, very small. You don't want to touch the bag really, just very, very little. Like a 1/16 or maybe probably like 1/8 of an inch. That way the next person can just rip it, throw it in hot water, and you're good to go. And basically this is what I do. Right? Very simple to do. You can do it with any of the helpers, rice-a-roni, mac and cheese, you know, depending on the size of your family. And I'll leave links to recipes that I use in the description bar, and you can tweak it to your own family's taste. Very simple to do, guys. Right? If you like the bags, I'll leave links on that. Like I said, you have to fight with them. Sometimes it works the first time, sometimes 2 up to 5 times, right? But if you seal it, you have the oxygen absorber in there. That's the most important thing, because the nitrogen, like I said, all the other gases in the air will not spoil the food. The oxygen will. The oxygen absorber removes it, and you'll be good to go, right? Rainy day comes, you know, like in Venezuela, they busted into the zoos to eat the animals, they ate their pets. You'd have something like this. Hot water, you know, not going to be a problem. Alright. Okay, guys. The vacuum sealer is not a necessary process. As you can see, here's a Weiss sample, and it's not vacuum sealed. This is the way it came. So it's not a necessary process, right? So this, all you really need is a Mylar bag and an oxygen absorber and food. That's it. It's some way to seal it.
So what I'm going to do here, and I took this long bag and I cut it in half. I'm going to make, seal this up and make another. That's a small bag for something else. This would be the entree bag. So I'm going to make some cheesy bacon mac and cheese, basically. Take one of these, the entire box. Right? And just turn that cheese packet sideways. Then, gonna take some imitation bacon bits. Just put some in there. I'm not gonna measure it. Kind of generous with it. Then, what I'm going to do, gonna partly seal it, right? Not all the way, just partly. That's all it takes. That's it. About 300. You don't want to go too high and burn your Mylar, damage your Mylar. Now that I've got this big old slit still, what I'm going to do, should I just use a glove to make it easier? Oxygen absorber. Drop it in there. Gonna get whatever air I can out by just crushing it down. And then I'm going to seal it up the rest of the way. That's it. Whatever little oxygen is in there, the oxygen absorber will take care of it. So it's nothing to worry about. Now that I've done that, I'm going to mark it. Take the marker. I'm going to make a little mark on the side here. What I do, this is just in case it's not me, so the next person just knows where to rip it. So I put just a very small. Show you the other side so you can just see how small it actually is. Doesn't actually affect the bag. Just so the next person that sees it rips it, and there you go. Instructions, what to do, and that's it. Right, and that'll feed my whole family. Sometimes I put bacon bits and bell pepper. Dehydrated bell pepper. This time I just, for the video, made it simple. And that's all there is to it, guys. Mylar bag. You see this big one, I just cut it down, and I'm going to make a separate bag out of this, sealing the bottom here. Just like so. Look. Seal this guy. And this smaller bag already has a little slit for, just to easy access. And there you go. I got a small bag here and this big bag here. And the oxygen absorber takes care of the oxygen. Again, the nitrogen and all the other gases won't spoil the food. Just the oxygen, that takes care of it. You don't thoughts all this, especially with like powders and stuff. Just that water pancake mix and stuff like that, that'd be a big old mess. But or oatmeal, instant oatmeal. But that's it.
Okay, so when you're all said and done, you're going to wind up with several buckets like this. And like I said, it takes a while. You can get these buckets for free. Grocery stores, bakeries, they'll throw them out. They don't have any use for them. And there you go. So I need a couple of lids, as you can see. And basically, you have your individual portion meals for your family or for yourself or whatever the case may be. And you put pre-done ready-made meals in Mylar. Just add hot water. You let them sit. Take you somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes, depending on what the dish is. And you've got a hot meal. And again, in the Mylar bag, 5 mil, not 3.5. 3.5 is the lowest quality Mylar you can use to be food grade. So I go with 5, right? It's almost twice as effective. So the Mylar can hold air out for, keep the stuff good in there with the oxygen absorber up to 15 years, right? So nothing's 100%. It takes about 15 years. Oxygen gets in there eventually, no matter what it is. Nothing's 100%. So in addition, you put them in a bucket with more oxygen absorbers. So for example, when I have an oxygen absorber, when I have lids, I'm going to throw oxygen absorbers in those buckets there and seal them up. So it'll absorb all the oxygen, create another barrier of protection. So this will give you about 10 years extra, the bucket. So you've got 10 years where the oxygen eventually seeps in. Even Weiss, Mountain House, Legacy, whatever. Eventually the air will get in there. But it'll give you about extra, maybe up to 10 years with the food grade container. And then it's going to take another 15 years to get inside the Mylar and ruin your food. So, again, your finished product should look something like this. All right, you can use the rounder ones. I just got these because I like the way they fit in the closet. But anyway, I've got these in the closet. I've got them under my bed. I've got some in an alternate location. And this whole setup cost me, $550, some give or take, $550, something like that. And again, be smart, get what you can at the grocery store, and whatever you can't find at the grocery store on sale or something, get cheap online. And there you go. If something happens, you've got food ready to go. Just pour hot water, very little trash, cooks in a few minutes, and takes up less water than cooking up old-fashioned beans. So very good way to go, I think. And of course, you can't survive on this stuff long term. I mean, no emergency foods, MREs, canned goods. Especially MREs, can't go more than 30 days with those things. You're not supposed to. I recommend you take supplements if you're going to be eating stuff like this long term. No matter what it is, you're going to eat fruits and vegetables and stuff to supplement that. So you want to grow what you can long term, if that was to happen, and take supplements. Put supplements aside. You'll need them. Anyway, now that you see what you're going to be doing, you see how to seal the bags, let's go over some recipes so you know what to do. Fill these suckers up with. So on to the next part. Okay, so now that you know what you're going to need for this project, now that you know where to find it, let's talk about what to do with it. And I have a couple recipes here that I want to share with you guys. When I first came up with this idea, I'm like, man, that was the kind of the harder part, figuring out meals to put aside. Now, first off, this is going to get kind of redundant because the way I did it, giving you a warning now, I'll choose an ingredient and then I'll try to make different variations with those ingredients, right? So it'll be a lot of the same, and you kind of see what I'm talking about. And the other thing is, this is meant for me, my wife, and my daughter. So if you have a larger family, you can tweak it, larger, smaller, whatever. And if there's something in there you don't like, you can, hey, tweak it to your family's taste, man. Anyway, let's start. Soup bean mix. I went on Harmony House and I got a bunch of the individual bean containers, right? Black bean, red bean, navy bean, kidney bean, all that stuff. Split peas. And I mixed it all up, everything except for the pinto bean. Right, and I made a mix of that, and then I did a big old bulk box of pinto bean, and then I mixed, 1 cup of the mix with 1 bean, so it's 50% bean. Looking up the nutritional value, the pinto bean seemed to be the way to go, so I did it 50% pinto bean. So it's 1 cup of bean mix, 1 cup of pinto bean, half a cup of brown rice, a spoon of dehydrated garlic, a spoon of dehydrated onion. Right, and then rice and beans. 2 cups of instant rice medley. The minute rice, the one with the brown rice, red rice, wild rice, and quinoa. I love that mix. And then a cup of dehydrated beans, tablespoon, or just spoon of dehydrated garlic, spoon of dehydrated onion. Bean chili. I took a refried bean mix that I found at a health food store. Took a cup of that and a cup of the black bean mix. Some dehydrated bell peppers, a spoon of dried onions, a spoon of dried garlic, and a McCormick's chili spice mix, and put it together. Now, I'd say like the little packages of red peppers, crushed red peppers, like when you order pizza, maybe you can throw some of those in the Mylar too. If you have kids like I do, you can open up the package and mix it into your own. You know, put a little heat into it if you wanted to. And if there's no kids, hey, you know, put some pep instead, give it some heat. Cheesy broccoli and rice. I used 2 cups of the instant rice medley, 1 cup of dehydrated broccoli, and the powdered cheese package from a Kraft Mac and cheese. Now, keep in mind here, 1 cup on the top, 1 cup of dehydrated broccoli makes 3 1/4 cups of hydrated broccoli. So that's going to go a long way there. Loaded mashed potatoes. I took some the pre-flavored mashed potato mixes, little packages. Took 2 of those, and then I took a cup of plain Idaho potatoes, instant mashed potatoes. Took some imitation bacon bits. It was just under a 1/4 cup. I was a little shy on that. And some chives, right? Seal it up. There you go. That'd get my family over for a day. And here's the more interesting stuff. Lasagna. I took a box of Hamburger Helper with spice package, 1 cup of dried mushrooms, and 1/2 cup of textured vegetable protein to make up for the beef. Now, on the textured vegetable protein, on the bottom here, 1 cup yields 2 1/4 cup. So basically, I wanted to do about what I'd see would be equal to about a pound. So 1/2 cup made about just over a half a cup. Just over 1/2 cup made just over a cup. So that'd be in place of the beef that soak up the sauce, give it some nutrients, and there you go. Make it go a little farther, and a cup of dried mushrooms, right? Because I love mushrooms. Creamy Alfredo, right? I took, of course, the tuna helper, the Alfredo package, the spice kit, the pasta kit, and then I took a cup of the dehydrated broccoli, and there's a 1/2 cup of textured vegetable protein. All right, so that's going to be a pretty big meal there, actually. The stroganoff, same thing. The Hamburger Helper stroganoff box contents, some textured vegetable protein, and I put some mushrooms in there because I had quite a bit left over. I overestimated what I need. The beef pasta, Hamburger Helper, same thing, box content, 1/2 cup of textured vegetable protein, and a cup of dehydrated bell peppers, right? And there we are. Some instant scalloped potatoes. I used the cheesy scallops actually, of the Hungry Jack, box and a half of that, seasoning package, of course. Some dehydrated onions, a cup of the dried onions there. I put some chives, and I put just under a 1/4 cup of bacon bits, the imitation bacon bits there. Right, sealed it up. That'll make a pretty hearty meal for a day if it need be. Mac and cheese. Of course, the Kraft Mac and cheese. I did a box and a half of that, right? And then I put 1/2 cup of dehydrated bell peppers and just under a 1/4 cup of imitation bacon bits. And then got a rice-a-roni, 2 boxes of that, and then a cup of dried okra. I figured that'd be pretty good there. Now breakfast is a little bit easier. I'm not going to leave exact quantities. You know, you figure it out. This is not that hard. But powdered eggs with imitation bacon bits, right? Make a good little scrambled egg type deal there. You know, maybe tacos or something. Also, you can take the same powdered egg imitation bacon bits, and then you could add some chives in there, and you can throw some of the Hungry Jack instant hash browns and a little bit of powdered milk, and you've got, you know, pretty decent little omelet there, right? Cereal. Take your box cereal, some dehydrated like bananas, maybe banana chips, and some powdered milk. Maybe have the powdered milk and bananas separately so you can just rehydrate them and then throw them on the cereal, right? For a little bit more nutrients, you know, some banana chips or something. Just add water pancakes, right? Measure that up for your family. That's a pretty easy one. Maybe with some dehydrated blueberries thrown in there. And you can have some 100% maple syrup. That never goes bad, right? 100% in glass, preferably. And there you go, right? Just add water, pancakes, and there you are. Ready to roll. Some granola, right? Maybe add a little bit extra fruit in there. You know, whatever you like, dehydrated strawberry, you know, whatever you like. I don't know. Some another one I like is the flavored oatmeal. That's the easy one. Take some of the pre-packaged oatmeal, the ones that come with like dried fruit and sweetener and everything in a little package, and you just, you know, for work or something like that, or for school, you take a couple packages of those, and then you take some of these Quaker oats, the you know, quick 1 minute oats, maybe a little bit of powdered milk, and, you know, figure out how much to take for your family. Seal that up in Mylar. That'd be a breakfast for your whole family. And then if you put honey aside, pure honey will not go bad. So you put that aside. You can sweeten it up. You know, I'd say that over refined sugar any day anyway. But hey, especially when you need nutrients, that sugar be better. I mean, the honey be better than just some, you know, crap sugar. Also, get some instant coffee packages, man. You know, just add water. Coffee packages with flavoring and all. You know, it's not the best in the world, but in a situation like that, it's better than drinking just water all the time. And just add water, hot chocolate, right? Nestle makes a pretty decent one. Even if you read the box, it says, you know, you can just add a cup of hot water or milk for, you know, to make it a little more creamy, but richer flavor. But you know, if you had to, it'll work with the water. Tea packages, right? Something else if you want in the morning. Good way to go. A little bit of honey in there for some pep in its step. Another thing to look for when, you know, maybe not put in the bucket, but keep on hand, like when you go to Mickey D's or something like that, you know, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, soy sauce, it's not real honey, but little honey packages, you know, just to keep on hand. I mean, they're going to go bad, but they've got a little bit of a shelf life. Keep those somewhere aside, you know. It doesn't hurt to get a couple extra. Or when you go out somewhere, you come home, you know, put that stuff aside, right? If you really need it, you know, it's better to have it than not. So anyway, if this video helped, share it with somebody else, man, that might do the same thing, right? There's links in the description bar. If you have the money, you don't want to go through all this, hey, don't. But it's kind of fun. You can do it at a fraction of the cost. You can tweak it to your family's own taste. You know, you got a large family, small family. Tweak it to your taste. Tweak it to your size, right? Very, very good way to go, in my opinion. Right? Much cheaper. And, you know, things get bad. A couple minutes later, after boiling some hot water, you got a meal. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video, man. Took me a while to put all these little video segments together. But anyway, hopefully it helps. Hopefully it was worthwhile.